This is a game called... Oh, there I am. Alright, cool. I didn't know I could peek my head in here. That's pretty neat. Anyway, this is a game called Notorious. Yes. Hard-scrabble bounty hunting amid intergalactic war. A game by Jason Price. And it has some really good art. What up, Cathon? How you doing? This one has some pretty good art. I'm going to hope and pray it's not AI art. I don't know. I did not check that beforehand because I was just having a lot of fun with the game. Alright. When was game made? Good question. I think only a few months ago? Because this is on Kaku. Learning how to clean burnt sugar off a stovetop. Well, you shouldn't do that. Oh, it was kickstarted. Hell yeah. Okay. This one is based off of Ronin, which is another one that I want to do at some point. So, we have obviously this. There is a second expansion, or there's a first expansion, I should say, called Outriders. I think I grabbed both. I'm going to get the physical edition. I expected to boil over so fast. Yeah, well, you know. Yeah, you know. Just take a look at this real quick. So this is Tales of Hard-scrabble Bounty Hunter, all that stuff. So here is the original game. Making pickled jalapenos is tricky. You need sugar for that? So this is the original, which I got the PDF version. I really want this physical version because like it looks so fucking good. And then Outriders is the... Oh, this was Notorious, and then Outriders is the expansion. And they both look good, but I think when I get paid again, they are candied pickled. Oh, true. I think when I get paid, I'm going to grab this, because this is like a... it's like both copies, and it's, you know... I mean, just look at that. That's such a good fucking art. That's just such a good fucking book. But, yeah, so we're going to try that. So, this is Notorious. Here is the character sheet that comes with it. So we have our profile, we have our all of our gear, we have the planet we're going to, and then we have a target, which of course, being a bounty hunter, that's kind of the whole thing. There was, on the Itch.io, there was also, if anyone cares, there's a quick guide, and then there's also someone made a Star Wars conversion table for all of it. Because Notorious uses its own like proprietary races and whatnot. But if for whatever reason, you know, you want to play in the Star Wars universe instead, you can. I personally am going to play with like the actual content the character that people made because, you know, they made it. Why wouldn't I? It is absolutely 110% themed on Star Wars. Well, you'll see why in a little bit. So here is our startup, here is our intro, and this just kind of tells you what the Nomad is, what your character player is going to be, and then there's a guild code. Make sure that you do not break the code. Proceed with caution, follow the code. The guild always fulfills a contract. The guild is a blade, not a hammer. Oh, well, finish the job, yeah. Only kill when necessary. Nomads don't fight nomads. The guild values a fair competition. Your employer's business is their own. The guild remains neutral. Don't get attached. The guild doesn't deal in good deeds. So before you play, here's like a little disclaimer. Nomad may assist overtly fascist or criminal organizations in their goals to be rewarded for capturing or killing targets. To be clear, this is simply a love letter to a specific genre. real-life fascists are not welcome. That's, I feel that's very prevalent, especially in the current day. So, play materials you need. You will need your character sheet, which we're going to do this all digitally, but you get form fillable ones if you buy it on Ix or anywhere else. But normally you'd have your printout, you have a pencil eraser, 2 6-sided die, and somewhere to write your story. So I'm not going to notate this one because I'm already dictating it through voice. But I do have a second one that I'm currently playing and I'm messing around with that I can put on the Discord. So most of its table is online. Full list of online resources can be found in the games, digital files, etc., etc., etc. Ways to play. Every chapter starts the same way. You receive some basic information about the target, including their name, species, and why your employer has to put a bounty on their head. It's your task to track down leads in the wilderness of a planet. There are 2 ways to play depending on how you want to record your story. Arcade mode, which write basic notes to track attributes and encounters, simply roll dice to resolve combat or events. And this is more of like the short one, like, hey, I don't have too much time, or hey, I just want to get into the action. And then story mode is, of course, create and write a short story as you play, corresponding to the prompts and questions you're presented with each encounter. Which, if anyone's interested, I started that on another character, which you can see here. We ended up making a robot character, and I named him B3EFL4P, or B-Flap. So, we have that. That is going to be on the Discord in our solo role-playing channel. So I'm going to make that as, I guess, a thread. If people want to hop in, and if you want to read that, go for it. I'm going to try and put that up tonight. But for right now, we're going to do kind of like a mix, because I'm going to narrate a bit more of the story mode, but we're not going to get too bogged down in the weeds for everything. So here's your key terms: your nomad, notoriety, fame, and motivation, which are these 3. You start, if I remember right, you start with 2 favor, 0 notoriety, and 2 motivation, and they're used as skill checks. So these are the only 3 skills that we have in the game. So how you'd normally do in D&D, where it's like, make an athletics check. Instead, it'd be like, when you're doing a roll, it's add favor, half of your favor rounded up, and then that'll do that. So we have that. Is that the same? Oh, I already downloaded that. Okay, cool. So. We have our reactions, which there are 4 different things you can do to people. Speak, attack, threaten, or recruit. There's 6 factions, which we'll get to in a second. Locals, just the random locals of the planet. Assets, they're locals that have something to offer. You can recruit them or sometimes gain other benefits from them, and they're usually single use. Hostiles are the people that you're going to eventually fight at some point, whether they be someone related to your target or someone completely different that just doesn't like you poking around. Leads, hunt down a planet and known connection to your target, and then we'll work on those as we get it, and of course the target is the person that we're going to do. So, there are your reactions that you can do. You can speak, threaten, attack, and recruit people, and this is like a little helpful board. This will just kind of tell you, it's based on the events that happen, and then how you how you write your story. So, for instance, you probably can't speak to someone who's overtly hostile to you, and you probably can't recruit them either. You probably can't, threaten an asset. Can't threaten the target because, you're trying to kill him. What up, class? I'm kind of explaining this whole system that's going on, and then we're going to build a character and start. So, what you pretty much just need to know, as I just recapped, is we're playing Notorious. It is essentially a space bounty hunter role-playing game. So, these are your reactions that you can do. The way that it works, if I remember right, you roll 2 different dice. 1 die is your character, and then 1 die is the thing that you are going up against. And then with motivation, it's essentially inspiration in D&D. If you want, you can spend 1 motivation to re-roll a single die, and you can keep the new result, and you can do it as many times as you have motivation to spend. So, that's pretty cool. So, success and failure is easy. If the nomad die, which is me, is higher than the challenge die, which is whatever it is I'm doing, the reaction succeeds. It doesn't look like ties work, so it's either you roll higher or you fail. So, and then there's some modifiers and other things like that. And then speak is the first reaction you can do, and of course you can. This just kind of gives you some direction on what you want to do. So, You know, you're going to be talking to someone in like a dusty tavern or something, you know, and there's a war going on, and you can speak, and hey, they hate the war, what small comfort can they no longer find, blah, 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 blah. And that's more of just for like story building. Threaten, of course, you can threaten things. You may threaten your hostiles when you meet to warn them off, so you roll your die initially, and you could add half of your notoriety, rounded up. That's where those stats come into play again. And then, of course, if you win, then the hostiles back down, they're no longer a threat, and then you can do threat neutralized, however it is that happens. And then if not, you have to fight them, and you'll have to, you know, do the combat and all that. Resolve the action, add 1 to the challenge die in the first roll. So, attack is how you do your combat, and the Nomad die is just these attack modifiers, so it's plus however many of these little, like, triangles, or fucking triangles, starbursts or slashes. And then the challenge die, again, add to that, and then when you roll both the die, that dictates the combat. And they were trying to make it very, very rules light. So it's not so much of like, hey, my action is I'm going to move, you know, 30 feet up to cover. No, the way that it works is, you know, hey, I'm currently in cover, they're shooting at me. I roll the die, and then, like, I succeed. With a lull in the shots, you know, I poke my head out and take a shot at him, and I get him in the leg, or I take him down, or what have you. And then, of course, there is defense, there is multiple opponents you can do, and then whenever you win, you can either spare or kill, and then your target, of course, the whole point of your target being a bounty hunter is, you know, you want to capture this person. But it doesn't matter if they come in, cold or warm, it don't matter, because you still succeed. And if you fail an attack, it's time for you to roll your fate. You can do all these different things. Law enforcement can come get you, you flee, or you could just die. So that's great. Recruit, you can sometimes recruit people, and that becomes assets. So various different things here, maybe like a beast herder, and, you know, you get a critter that you can ride, or a doctor. If you lose a fight, you can wake up somewhere else, and, like, the doctor saved you, or what have you. So, the Nomad is our character. So we talked about the mechanics, which it's kind of abstract without actually going into it. So we're going to go. Okay, it's not going to work because it grabbed VC. It grabbed the thing that I use for the avatar. So I'd have to restart stream to get that set. So you're just going to have to trust me when I roll dice. I don't know if you can probably hear them. Yeah, you're just going to have to trust me when I roll the dice. I will endeavor to make it as cheesy as possible. Not really. It's either that. Remind me next time, I'm just going to set up our second webcam, and I'm just going to have a fucking, like a roll on the table or whatever. And so, yeah, we're just going to get rid of that for now. I do not like that. Yeah. Like, it kind of works, but also this was spur of the moment, so, you know. Like I said, I'll worry about it next time. Anyway, so, let us have some fun. We're going to make our character. I know. You guys are pretty cool. I don't mind some of you. But you know who you are. You better get out of here, buddy. And these are also thrown up on YouTube if you guys want to see it afterwards. So, let us go. Roll on the table to determine the type of nomad you play. So these are essentially classes. So we have the armor, the assassin, the bot, the brute, the scoundrel, and the uncanny. So let's do a little rolly roll. So I got a 2. So I got the assassin. Your unassuming nature and modest attire hide a killer instinct, honed through years of intense training. So if we scroll on down here, there's the armor, which is, you know, like the Mandalorian pretty much. There's the assassin, which I assume is like a weird version of Bosk in this. There's the bot, which this was the first one I played. There is the brute. I love him. Here is the scoundrel, who is, you know, like the Han Solo. And then the uncanny, which mystic powers, so it's a Jedi. So we're gonna play as an assassino. So there we go. Success often lies in subtle planning and taking opponents out with long-range weaponry or spectacular martial arts. I know, right? No, so this is just the class that we'll roll for a race and all that stuff in a little bit. So, our profile, is that what they're called, right? Nomad profile, yes. So our profile is going to be Assassino. And then we have different loadouts. So here's a precision scoped laser rifle. So we'll just copy. We'll just copy that. Bump, bump. Range weapon. Boom. Boom. Melee, a concealed blade or martial arts training. Well, martial arts is lame, so we're gonna not do that. Outfit, we have a hooded cowl, a mysterious insignia, and we're padded. Ooh. And so that'll give us +1 armor, +2, etc. So, I don't think I put that here, so I'm just going to keep that. Do I have a quick... No, okay, we'll deal with that later. You only get the blade, not the martial prowess. No, you could do either or. Or you get both of them. I'll put them both in. I just wasn't trying to do that because the sheet isn't like the greatest on this stuff. But anyways, okay, so then we have, I think we rolled the 3 different stats, right? Once you finish that, roll on the species, and so we're going to choose our origin, our scar, and our trigger. So, origin, we're going to go... No, you're good, you're good. I think it's more of like you pick your poison type thing. Like you could either decide to be concealed blade or you could choose martial arts training. I assume it's just more for roleplay purposes. I think, you know, a blade is a blade is a blade, a gun is a gun is a gun type thing. So anyways, we're going to roll our origin. So I got a 5. So you helped the old empire target prominent mystic order leaders in a famous attack. So what we essentially did was we helped the empire kill a Jedi leader. It's just the easiest way that I can, you know, like make a facsimile for. So, helped, bad, kill, good, leader. There we go. And this will sometimes come on back. Alex.
Ooh, what's this?
Yes, actually.
A subscriber.
Yo, thanks for subbing, man. 50 months. I appreciate you, brother. Yes, we were actually part of Order 66. We could rock the lizard if we want, but we'll roll on the race table and see, because they have a bunch of interesting ones. So our scar. We got a 2. Most of your internal organs have been replaced by a set of cybernetic visible parts. Why do I keep getting robotic stuff? But okay. That's fine. What's the other ones? You lost 3 fingers on one hand in an altercation with a warrior? That would make sense. Rely on an expensive cocktail of injected stims and meds to operate at your peak. No, I'm not an addict. Alright. What is that? That was my scar? Yeah. Cyber body parts. Giggity. And then our trigger, which is how... Our trigger is number 4. A would-be ally betrayed you during a disastrous heist, leading to your incarceration. What? What up, Lucky Crab? How you doing? What? No, it's still around. Alright. So, yes, a would-be ally betrayed you during a disastrous heist, leading to your incarceration. Did you make the original logo that Rito commissioned? Ally betrayed me. Okay, cool. So we have that. So now that we're done with that, now that we have our profile, record your name, background, blah, 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 blah. So give me... Let's do a species and personality, and then we'll make the name and then deal with the rest of this. So this is all the species stuff. So I'm rolling 2 dice this time. So 3 and 4 is 7. So we are human. We're ape-like. I kind of want to re-roll that. I don't want to fucking be a human. Humans are disgusting. Let's re-roll that. That's a 4 and a 4 is 8. Okay. Will be the goal, which is horned. Okay. So our species is Ghoul, which is a horned. So what do we want? What do we want our character looking like? Humanitas is a plague, absolutely. And I mean, we can choose these names. You can obviously make your own. I'm just being easy, you know. I'm just taking stuff. So Cheeto Robey sounds dope to me. Cheeto Robey. Is a horned like a tiefling? Yes. Tiefling or a minotaur? Yes. It's essentially just a horned being. I think it's trying to be like a Deveronian from Star Wars, which is like a devil-looking critter. But but it can be, you know, anything with horns, pretty much. So I kind of like the idea of like a space tiefling or like a space Draenei, right? I don't know why. I really like how the Draenei look. So I think we're gonna do that. So we got that Cheeto. We're Chester Cheetah, the assassin. So that's pretty cool. All right, so we have that. Now let's grab our personality. 6. Assured, calmed, or focused. What weakness are they trying to hide from others, or what potent item is the source of their confidence? Hardcore black tar heroine. All right, so our personality is assured. We know that we will get our target. The Secret Savage. A massive swinging magnum dong. A horned dong, remember that. Is audio levels okay, by the way? Should I turn the music down? It's just a weird-ass playlist. It's like 2 hours of like ominous black, brown noise? Black noise? White noise? Something like that. Alright, so, if I remember right, it's time to determine who your target is. As you play, you'll learn more about the target's actions and motivations. Roll these steps. So, we're going to do the same thing. So, we're going to do a species for our target. 5 and 4 is 9, so Lektok, it's an insectoid. So, Lektok. Insectoid. We'll name it Greta Nahak. Yeah, that sounds dope. That's a good name, I think. Greta Nahak. Sticky Buggins. Oh yes, no. I like it. Sticky Buggins. Okay. We're gonna be hunting down Sticky Buggins, the scourge of the galaxy. Okay, roll for their personality. 4. Angry, argumentative, or loud. What do they constantly complain about, or what blunt item do they brandish to intimidate others? Okay, I'll turn it down just a little bit. There you go. See, let me know how that is. Get sticky buggins. What do they constantly complain about? No, I was just liking the post ironically. I wasn't actually part of the fascist regime. Anyway, so they are. We're gonna make them loud, right? Their personality is loud. All right. So roll for the planet where your story takes place, which is there are 6 of them. Yes. An old shoe. Yes. 4. We're going to Veltari, the aquatic planet. Planet name is Veltari, and the environ is aquatic. Aquactic. Alright, cool. Choose a faction that's present on the planet as the client. Okay. So we have 3 different factions. We have the Trade Alliance, we have the New Uprising, and we have the Targ Cartel. So think of it like the Cis, the Rebels, and the Hutt Cartel. There you go. Trade Alliance. Challenging it is the... Was it the New something? New Uprising. New Uprising. And then the Targ Cartel is the minor. Okay. So, a faction that's present on the planet, and then choose one of the faction's reasons for posting the bounty. Record the information on the lower two sections of your nomad sheet, the planet report, and the target dossier. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. The client faction, we could have it being... Wrong planet? You right. Mystic Order is controlling it. Mystic Order. Trade Alliance and Red Moon. Ooh, scary. Trade Alliance. Red Moon. I know you can't read that. I can barely fucking read that, but don't worry about it. Alright, so, let's go choose a faction. We'll choose one of the faction's reasons for posting that bounty. So what do we want to do? So the client's faction is going to be the Trade Alliance. And the accused crime, Sticky Buggins accused a bunch of tech bros of investing in their new crypto. And then they did a rug pull. So rug pulled crypto on tech bros. So Sticky Buggins is a scourge to everyone who likes Apple. Jaywalking? No, man, it has to be better than that. We're going to kill the dude. Nomad's notes. I think we'll write some notes in once we get like a little bit more about him. Him, her, it. So how this works. Oh, here, hold on, where are we? Okay, so we have that. We have the reason for the bounty. We have the factions posting the bounty. All that good stuff. The planet report target dossier. So now we have the planet. We got to roll 3. So the Talok are the Talok. The reptilians are the predominant species. Talok. Oh, no. Okay, I think you fill this whole thing out. Yeah, I think you fill this whole thing out. Kimono. Jaywalking, hit him with a vehicle. Talok and the Volk. Okay. We'll have to bounce back and forth on what the hell those things are. Alright, as well as some flavor text when you encounter a planet's profile establishes several things. Blah, 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 blah. When you reach a populated area, you roll on the destination table to find where you arrived. So you'll get a brief description such as, you arrive in a small outpost around blah, blah, blah. You can also use the die result on the planet's prominent destinations table to find the destination's name. Consider these when you look. And then each one has a controlling, challenging, and minor faction. All vying for power amidst the galactic war. So there we go. We have that. We have our factions. This just gives you more info on the factions. And of course, like I said, I made up my own bounty, but you could also choose these bounties if you want. So we have the Trade Alliance. The target destroyed a large merchant freighter. The target stole and supplied Trade Alliance weapons, or they leaked plans of a blockade. What have you. You can use a lot of this, but it's more of just like... Almost all of this is more of just like placeholder or stuff when you can't really think of things, but you can obviously think however you want. So the gameplay pretty much goes like this. We roll on the exploration table, we do an exploration. Once we finish that exploration table, we move to a destination. Then we roll on the destinations table, and then we go and we find, a small outpost run by, a minor faction. You run by a town of locals, arrive in a fortified base, blah, 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 blah. And then once you roll on that, you get a brief description, which you use in the planet. You may have previously visited this destination. The prompt may ask you to roll for one or more destination events that occur in the locale. So the destination events are, etc., etc. Sometimes it'll say, instead of roll, search. So you go on down and you search through here. And then sometimes a search will lead you to, You know, you gain notoriety, or maybe one of these will lead you to someone that turns into a lead. And then when you do that, you find on your lead. And then the way that the leads work is there was a little thing that showed it somewhere. I think it was in the gameplay. Yeah, so the way that it works is you roll and you get an event. It eventually finds you to a lead. You go back and you do more, you get to a second lead. You go back and you do more, the third one is the target. The third lead that we find is the target. And that's the guy that, we're going for. And then after that, we have an epilogue, depending on, what happens. Do we kill the person? Do we save them? Do they knock us out? Do they kill us? Who knows? Find out on the next episode of Uidsea Ball Z. Or, right now. So, we are going to start on out. So we have Cheeto Robey. He is... Just make sure if there's a possibility for rest, you take it. Absolutely. Actually, and I noticed that. There was a few of them where I even noticed. Like this one, who works here, then rest to gain motivation. Barter for supplies to gain, etc., etc., etc. So, yes, no, we're absolutely resting if we can. So, our person, our thing, Cheeto Robey, he is a ghoul. He is a horned creature. I'm going to say a mix between, like, a Draenei and a Tiefling. He's an assassin. He helped and my original origin was I helped someone, I think, what was it, the Empire or something like that? Yeah, I helped the old Empire target a prominent mystic leader, so I am essentially a Jedi killer. Cool. A mystic killer. And then we're very assured, we know that we will do the things that we can get done. Our scar is that a lot of our body parts have become cybernetic, and our trigger that kind of sent us down this road was an ally betrayed me, and as such, I'm here to maybe not get revenge, but take out some of the scum in the galaxy. Or maybe I'm just trying to make credits. Who the fuck knows? So, our ship, we're going to land. I think the planets give you a nice little intro. Yes. So you land your ship on a dimly lit floating platform with connections to the main hub. Okay. So, our person, Cheeto, is on the hunt for Sticky Buggins. Sticky Buggins is a loud Electok, and the Trade Alliance wants him because he rug pulled a bunch of tech bros. They were going for Slark coin, and he was selling it up to them, and everyone was really happy. These were tech bros that were launching the Apple 743, and they were all in. He was a Bitcoin scammer, yeah. Your ally was of the Mystic Order. That would make sense, actually. And so he was, working with the tech bros. He said, Slark coin, it's going to be incredible. Everything's going to be great. You're going to absolutely love this thing. It's going to make you so much money. It's the future. There is no way that this thing could ever just randomly disappear overnight, and I completely vanish. And so that's what he did. And the Trade Alliance found out, and they're like, now how are we going to fund research into the Apple 17,643? It's a rectangle with a screen on it. Well, how are we going to change that? So, Sticky Buggins is going, and he disappeared into the night. We got some tips. Cheeto got some tips on where Sticky Buggins is hiding out. He's hiding out on Veltari, an aquatic planet. So we pop into the system and we find one of the big hubs that I'm assuming this is like Manon from Star Wars. So we request docking with the main hub, and then there's a dimly lit floating platform sitting out there, and we kind of scoot our way down. As we get on down, the salty ocean air hits our nose. Because, what are we? We are horned, yeah, so we have a nose, probably. And as we can see all across, I'm going to say it's evening right now. So there's wave-battered bridges, there's waves lapping up against everything. There's drilling platforms that I can see out in the distance. There's storm off to the other side. And I'm sitting on this platform. There's nothing else here. There's barely any light. And I am going to start wandering on. And we're going to do our first exploration. So, let us do that. You've hidden your ship and you must travel on foot across the wilds of the planet unless you acquire a vehicle or a pack beast. Or in this case, I'm assuming it's going to be more like suburban metropolitan, seeing as I think this is the only platform on the planet and the rest is water. And while I am horned, I am not aquatic. So, we're going to roll on the table. Number 5. If it's Star Wars, won't it be a negative number? In a long time ago, a galaxy far, far away. Very true. But we're not actually in the Star Wars universe. Although, like I said, someone did make a conversion table. So we could always play a Star Wars campaign if we wanted. So I got 5. If your notoriety is 3 or higher, you encounter a lead. Otherwise, roll once on the exploration events table. So that's all these. So we're going to roll. That is a 2. Okay, so 1 to 2. Here we go. And then now, there's a lot of initial rolling. 4. A speeding vehicle appears out of nowhere and 2 hostiles who work for a powerful crime boss leap out to confront you. Roll a die. Oh, great. Okay. Number 5. They're masked humans. What do their masks look like, and where have you seen them before? So already we're fucking sitting on here. Work for a powerful crime boss, so I assume the 2 humans pop out and they say, "Hey, weren't you the one who killed Jeff Mystic, the crazy mystic who was taking out the old empire?" And I'm initially, I don't even want to deal with them. I don't want to fucking talk to them at all. So we're going to try and threaten them. Half of your notoriety rounded up. Currently, we have 0 notoriety, so that's great. Let's see. So I got a 4 and they got a 6. So obviously I lost. So failure. They attack you, and then I have to add +1 to the challenge die on the first attack roll only. Great. So they have 1 attack and 1 HP, and for this first roll, they're going to have 2 attack. So if I remember, I should probably open multiple pages of this shit, like how to see, like how the combat and all that works, but whatever. Okay, so I'm going to assume we're in melee range, because the laser rifle probably isn't the greatest. But we're going to use our concealed blade. So we have +3 on the attack, and the opponent has -1 HP. So we're going to use that. So we have +1 HP, unless it's a lead or a target, then we'll have +2 HP. So that's good. So where's my attack? Okay. So I don't see HP on here. So I'm assuming it's just based on what I have, maybe? Wouldn't the enemy just die? That's what we're going to figure out. Because like I said, I'm trying to learn all this combat. So we have, what was it, +3, I think? It was +3, and the opponent has -1. So I assume that's defense. May provide events. Your opponents might have 1 or more. Each point of defense allows a successful attack to be blocked once, avoiding the consequences of failure. Ah, okay. Gotcha. So if we roll... So I'm going to do my rolly roll. So I rolled a 1 and they rolled a 1 also. So I have a +3 and they only have a +1. So my assumption, since they also have 1 defense, is, I attack 1. If you use the attack, resolve the attack against the weakest opponent first and work your way up. Choose whether to kill or spare them as a group, getting a maximum... Okay, yeah. So, I'm going to say one of the guys comes out and he has, kind of a dagger as well. I dodge to the side, and I go to slice him with my dagger. However, it nicks him, or he barely avoids it. Most of your equipment will only work at certain ranges. Because I'm trying to see... Your opponent might also have one or more points of defense. Each point of defense allows a successful attack to be blocked. Okay. And then add the attack modifier listed for your opponent. So I'm assuming the first one kind of dodges. We have 2, right? We have 1 HP, 1 extra armor. Okay. So the first guy runs up, slashes, we miss him. So we're gonna roll again because the second guy's coming. Okay, so I have a 2. Well, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they rolled a 6. Plus 1 is 7. So, that doesn't mean I die, right? No, I wouldn't think so. I don't think so, right? If you're using an attack reaction, resolve the attack against the weakest opponent first. Like, we don't have, like, HP, so to speak. I could be injured, maybe. Most of your equipment, blah, blah, blah. Each point of defense allows a successful attack to be blocked once, avoiding all consequences of failure. Repeat the attack roll. Reload the save. So I'm assuming... So what was that first event? That first event was... let's see... Where was it? 6, I think? Where the fuck? What did I choose? Destination event 1 and 2, 4? Okay. Wait, if that's the case... If that's the case, then that would be something else. Wasn't it something about them hopping off of a bike? Wrong set of destination events? Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so... Yeah, we went on here first. Am I here? Oh, here I am. Exploration events. Okay. Yeah, 2 hostiles appear. Okay. So they're masked humans. What do their masks look like and how do you see them? Okay, so... They have plus 1 HP and plus 1 attack. So I assume, like you said, like afterwards, if I just killed them... Right? Oh, and opponent has -1. So I'd assume that I would have swung and killed the first guy. That's my guess. And then I'd be able to block the second one because I have +1. Or no, I think you're right. Yeah, I would just kill them, right? Because they both have -1 out of their armor. So yeah, I think you're right. That's what I'm rolling with. That's what I'm gonna roll with. Like I said, we're learning this as we go. Like, the combat isn't... I feel like it could explain a little bit more. But, whatever. So, here's the question. We take them out. Are we going to spare them, or are we going to kill them? If we kill them, we gain notoriety, and notoriety can help with quite a few different things. If we get too much notoriety, then that also could hinder us. Oh, okay, after exhausting defense and motivation. Okay, so motivation is your life, I guess. That's my guess. Okay, I'm going to assume that's how it works. It'd be cool if they're just like, hey, your motivation is your HP. But that's fine. Alright, so I say we're going to... Do we want more favor? We're an assassin, man. We don't want loose ends. So I'm saying we're going to kill him. We gain 1 notoriety and we kill the 2 fuckers. I think that's how we're gonna go. So I'll say that as we swing on up, you know, he runs up with a blade. I dodge, slash him very quickly, very decisively, right in the neck. Next guy runs up. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing? How are you gonna?" And then before he can even get his bullshit out, slice him as well. Get him right in the neck, where the neck slicer. Because why not? You're an assassin. Why wouldn't you be? They both drop, and he just kind of pushes them out into the water. It looks like the waves will take him, and if they won't, well, you know, I'm sure that some other bodies have shown up before. I don't think they're going to ask too many questions. So, now that we are here, let us roll on our destination table. So, hopefully it is good. 5. You arrive at a small spaceport run by the challenging faction. Resolve both. Gain 1 notoriety. If it's 5 or higher, a hostile guard approaches. Okay, so we're at 2 notoriety. And then roll twice on the destination table. For 1 or more destinations that go... Okay. So I'm assuming we're going to do one then the other? If you're asked to roll twice, resolve the first event before rolling it for a second. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Okay, so we push those guys into the water and just walk away like nothing ever happened. Run by the challenging faction, which the challenging faction is the Trade Alliance, which is, funnily enough, the people that we got the contract from. And so we walk on up to it. It's I'm assuming that it's going to be the small spaceport that we landed in outside of the main hub. And as we walk in, they say, we walk on up, our horned self going on up there, and there's I'm going to say, not like a concierge, but like a handler, so to speak. And they're just going to give me a nod. They know why we're here. I don't know why I'm here. But anyways, now we're going to roll on the destinations table. So number 5. So we're going to do destinations 5 through 6. And then we're going to go 4. Locals here are acting strangely with glazed expressions. A low hum emanates from a nearby building and you investigate. So roll a die. 6. A crowd is singing and swaying in time to a drumbeat. The mesmeric rhythm washes over you. Gain 1 motivation. Alright, so in a strange twist of fate, you're going to find another cult? I fucking know. It's kind of funny because I could have actually encountered a hostile with mystic powers and that would have fed into my backstory. But so they're swaying and he walks on up as he sees a building. It guess has a very, very slight glow to it. And outside there's there's a group of them and they're kind of just swaying, doing a little stomp every now and then. And initially Cheeto is like, okay, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is a water planet. There should just be like people fishing. So he goes on up and he starts listening to the crowd a little bit more. And the crowd's going, Ziggy Buggins, come find me. And he hears it's actually a ritual celebrating Sticky Buggins. Sticky Buggins is known on Veltari. This man that we're trying to hunt has a building that's making a slow droning over these very, 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 very swayable people. And now they are actually swaying. And they are celebrating Sticky Buggins. And there's a small little effigy in front of him. And he says, well, that's really fucking weird. And he's going to get on out of there. I mean, he got motivation, which was good. But he's going to get on out of there because that is not what he wants to be dealing with right now, because those people might attack me based on the fact that I'm coming to... It's going to be a dead child as a guard, Senor Buggins. I love it. All right, Cheeto kind of wanders away from that a little bit, kind of shaking his head, getting the droning out of his head. And as he is walking down some more of the streets, number 5, we arrive at another small spaceport run by the Trade Alliance, so we gain a notoriety. Okay. And then we're going to roll... Oh, no. I don't do that a second time. Okay, that's right. I just roll another on the event, destination events. Okay. Okay, number 2 this time. And 3. So, people travel from all over to visit the clinic of a renowned healer or doctor. It seems their services are in demand. Roll a die. 1. You join the line, but someone reacts to your scar and you feel it's not worth the hassle. What bothered someone about your appearance? So, I went to this, I'm going to say this renowned healer. It might even be a mystic healer. And as I'm standing in line wanting to take a look and possibly see what's going on, one of the ladies behind us is, "Oh my god, you're covered in... why are you so metallic?" And I assume that they've never seen cybernetic people before, or a cybernetic horned beast. And she just keeps on saying, God, you're impure. He's never going to be able to heal you." I don't know, dude. I'm fucking winging it. And, it causes a small little panic. Not really big panic, but there's a few children that pop up and they just start staring at me, and they're pointing at Cheeto and they're laughing and they're saying, iron ribs, and then Cheeto says, "You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. You can have your goddamn mystics. I'm out of here." And he leaves. he was heckled by a lady who really didn't want to see cyber people, and then the kids kind of just shoot. He shoot himself away because he really didn't want to deal with the kids. So I guess we're going to do a little bit more exploring because obviously we can't find much for what's going on. So your reputation when hostile guards, blah blah blah. You'll roll to create leads when you catch up to them and engage in a cinematic showdown. Okay, so it seems like every now and then we'll find a lead. Oh, okay, gotcha. Heckling an assassin is kind of... Well, they don't know he's an assassin. He's just a dude with horns that's kind of hanging out and seeing what's going on in this town. And he's getting tired of it. So 5. If your notoriety is 3 or higher, it's 2. Otherwise, roll once on the exploration events table. God damn it. Okay. So 4. And 3. Okay. So, 2 hostile scouts from the old Empire speed past you on screeching hover bikes. Oh god, are we gonna have to fight people again? Number 3. They circle back to attack you from their vehicles. What lie has someone told them about your reason for being here? I'm assuming those bitches that had a little humming event to Sticky Buggins is they told the old Empire about them. So they're going to swing on by, and I guess zooming around with their little hover bikes. And as they fly by, they go, "We heard about you. You're the one who took out that mystic, aren't you?" Like, god damn it, dude, I don't care. I don't want to deal with it. So I rolled a 6, and they rolled a 1. They got a +1, but I have a +3. So I actually rolled a 9, and they roll a 0. So I'm going to say that as one of them swings past a little too close, Cheeto grabs one of them. Or he tell you what, he grabs the the hover bike's handle, and he just cranks it up, and the guy can't control it, and he spins around. He freaks out, and he tries to gain control of it, but the hover bike flies on off, and down an alley, we hear an explosion, and the other guy's like, "What the? How the hell did you do that? And then he's going to come and take a swing at him as well. That's a 2 and a 5. So I have a... So I actually have a 5, right? Or is it now just going to be to a 1? 3 and a 1. Oh, for a first roll? Okay, I could have cheesed him even worse, but that's fine. So it's still a 3 and they have a -1. Where are we? This guy. So it's a moot point. He still has 1 HP. As he zooms on in and tries to get near me for, his buddy, the guy has I'll say like a stun baton. I swing and I slice out real quick with my blade, the concealed blade. And as he just barely veers off and spins around again. He says, "That trick's not going to work on me." And is it going to work on him? So I rolled a 4 and he rolled a 3. And he has no more HP now. So he swings back around really confident. He swings his baton at Cheeto, and as Cheeto sees this coming, he just kind of does like this quick little maneuver with his hidden blade and just stabs right into the side of the guy. And the guy, and the speeder bike kind of slows down and he just drops. He drops right off of it. And we're going to say that Cheeto also just walks away from that. He is he's an assassin, man. He does what he needs to. He kills who he needs to. If these people are getting in his face, Probably should have tried intimidating him, but that's fine. So now we're going to roll back to our destinations. So this is a number 5. Come on, man. I was kidding about this. You arrive at a small spaceport run by the Trade Alliance again, and we gain 1 notoriety. Then roll twice on the destination events. So we're doing the same exact thing again. All right. All right. Well, we got a 3. So 3 and 4. Please, can I do anything? Anything. 6. You went to a bar and immediately bump into another nomad. This isn't their first time you've encountered them. Okay. So we're gonna do 6. They catch your eye, nod, go on their way. Gain 1 favor. Where did you and several other nomads gather to accept your current contract? So nomads are the bounty hunters. Nomads are what I am. Nomads are what everyone else is. So we're not going to try and fight the nomads if we can help it, because that breaks the code. And there's a code about nomads. So we kind of just nod at them for a second. Let's see. This one is going to be. Can I add someone that I'm going to see again? No, I guess not. I was just gonna roll a character. But that's fine. We'll say that this one is swaddled up in heavy leather clothes, so we can't really tell who or what they are, but they just nod at us, and then they, just like that, they disappear into the crowd. So we're trying to find a lead for the love of God. So far we've encountered a weird faux cult to Sticky Buggins. We've killed some random-ass Trade Alliance people. We've killed some random-ass old Empire guards, and then we saw a nomad. Thankfully, we didn't have to fight him. Let's do... Alright, so what do we got here? That is a 6. Nothing eventful happens. Gain 1 motivation and roll a die. Okay. 5. What dangerous terrain do you successfully navigate? Well, I wouldn't say there's not terrain in the sense of rocks or trees and shit, because we're in this big hub that's on this water world. So I'm going to assume that as I'm wandering through, let's say that there's another one of those old Empire guards that blast through, and Cheeto really doesn't want to deal with this again, so he jumps into an alley, and the alley has a whole bunch of hoses and pipes and shit that are all tangled up. It seems like a maintenance alley that no one's really maintained in years. So he climbs over some of these pipes and ducks and dives around these hoses just to be able to get out onto the other side. Doesn't take any damage or anything like that, but he shows his nimbleness. Surprisingly, his horns didn't get caught on anything this time, although I assume that he wasn't always as lucky. Could you imagine being a feared assassin getting stuck in a maintenance closet because your fucking horns get caught? Alright. So we got that. And then we have no exploration events, so we're going to go to our destination. So we rolled a 6. You arrive at a fortified base or palace run by the controlling faction, which is the Trade Alliance. Or no, the Mystic Order, okay. Resolve both. Gain 1 notoriety if it's 4 or higher guard approaches. Well, I'm going to say it doesn't count because I just gained the notoriety. Roll twice on the destination events table. We have a 2. Please, for the love of God, don't fight another fucker. And we have a 3. Okay. People travel for... No, we already did that one, so... You know what? No, fuck it. Fuck it. Let's do the same one. Alright, so... We... As we're sitting here, we're thinking like, oh man, that's like... There's got to be some deja vu or something. Like, what the hell happened? And as I stumbled out through those hoses and everything that I just jumped through, I noticed there's a line. And I get up and I walk over to the line. And I say, hey, what is this line for? What's happening? And the lady turns around. She says, well, it's just the greatest healer that... And she looks at me. She says, oh God, do we do it again? 3, yeah. And then she goes, oh my God, you're that disgusting cybernetic beast I saw earlier. Kids, quick, come and laugh at this one. And the kids come over here and laugh again. They call me Iron Rib. And, of course, he's like, God damn it, man. Oh, I just want to find my fucking target. I want to get off of this place. This place sucks. I want to get gone. So he walks on out of here. I swear to God, if we find that clinic again, like we're gonna re-roll it. But I think I thought it was kind of funny to run into it twice. Oh my God, I'm talking this much hurts my fucking throat. All right, exploration table again. That is a 6. Nothing eventful happens. Gain a motivation and a die. Okay. Motivation, we're at 5 out of 6 motivation. What peaceful local activity do you spend time observing? Alright, so after Cheeto gets away from that clinic for a second time, he finds a small little street food vendor, so he sits on down next to it, and he orders something real quick, and they give him this jiggling mass of tentacles. He says, alright, well, when in space Rome, and he's going and he's just munching, having a good little time, trying to break up that from, being threatened and laughed at all day. As he looks over, there's some kids playing with a ball in one of the empty areas. They're just kind of kicking it back and forth, having fun, having a good old time. And he sits there and he just, breathes in the moment and takes in everything, sitting and munching before he goes back to his hunt. Sometimes even a renowned assassin needs to take a little bit of time and eat, and just hang out. He picks up some conversations from some of the other people near the street food vendors, some people walking down the street. Overall, it's not too bad of a place. Cheeto thinks to himself, maybe if he wasn't on a hunt, this would be a nice place to set some roots down for a little while. But all good things must come to an end, as we're going to go look for another destination. 1. You arrive at a small outpost or enclave run by the minor faction, which is the Red Moon. That's one we've never encountered before. Choose one, so we can either search for anyone who might know your target, or speak to a local who works here, then rest to gain 1 motivation. We're almost maxed on motivation, so I'm going to search, because this is the first time we've ever done a search. Who knows your target to gain 1 favor, so searching. Alright, if so, roll on the search table. So that is a number 2. Nobody's seeing your target, but your presence is noted. Gain 1 notoriety. Who lurks in the shadow observing your investigation? So we're at 5 fucking notoriety, dude. Like, we're doing... I'm telling you, man. We're getting pretty goddamn notorious. Haha, I get it. I said the thing. Who lurks in the shadow observing your presence? I'm gonna say it's one of those fuckers who was humming about sticky buggins, right? One of those guys, we're gonna make him like a bald friar. And he's sitting in the shadows and he's looking at you. He's trying not to make it too obvious. But you can hear Cheeto kinda sits there for a second as he's leaving, because no one's really been able to see my target or whatnot. But as he's leaving, he thinks he hears, just for a split second, but then just like that, disappears. We're turning Sticky Buggins into a fucking eldritch horror, I guess. Alright, back to exploration. We're at 5 out of 6 notoriety, bro. There's almost no way we cannot find a lead. 2. If your notoriety is 6 or higher, you encounter a lead. Motherfucker. We're just trying to find a dang lead. Okay, fine. Otherwise, roll on the events table. 3. And then 3 and 4. Okay. A hostile from a minor faction has found your ship. You can communicate through your ship's speakers. Choose one. Try to speak to them to gain 1 favor. Lose 1 motivation if you fail. Try to threaten them to gain 1 notoriety. Lose 1 motivation if you fail. What should we do? Should we try to threaten them, or should we try to speak to them? We're at 5 out of 5 on both notoriety and motivation, so regardless, whatever we do, you know? I say we max it. What faction is this? From the minor faction would be the Red Moon. So the Red Moon is... Red Moon Syndicate, a secretive but influential organization run by Ziz 13th, a manipulative and intelligent aristocrat. Depends. Are you the asshole for threatening strangers for advice? Well, no, they're coming at my ship. Where was it? It was 3 and 4, I think. Oh, down here. All right. These guys. Yeah. They found my ship, and they're trying to come up at my ship. So you know what? I'm going to try and speak to them. An assassin shouldn't always be, you know, sticking his face out. So speak. Where is that? It says a hostile. A hostile enemy. So we can't actually speak, so we have to threaten them. Alright, so... we try to threaten any hostile. Add half of your notoriety rounded up. I have 5, so what is that? 2.5, so 3. So we're going to add 3 to our notoriety. So I rolled a 6, so I got a 9. They rolled a 4. So I absolutely... So through my... The hostiles back down, no longer threatening. Rolled on the threat and neutralize table. Okay, so we'll go... 4. Their anger turns to genuine curiosity about the life of a nomad. That's odd, but okay. The people from the Red Moon, they find my ship, and, you know, the sensors go off on my little data pad, so I notice it. As I'm sitting there in a back alley, I pop onto the comm and I go through the speakers. Red Moon, what am I gonna fucking threaten them with? I don't know. If you don't want to meet your maker. If... A good time? I could threaten them with some good times after this is all over. I noticed there's no options about romance. I'll just threaten them by ominously saying, I'm always watching. And seeing as they're, you know, a secretive group, maybe they freak out and they think it's actually someone of their syndicate. And then their anger turns to genuine curiosity. What aspect of bounty hunting are they envious of and why? So they say, "Oh my God, no! We're actually looking. We're looking to join the guild ourselves. We want to know like how lucrative it is." And he says, "I'm not having a conversation with you through my ship's speakers right now. Come back later when I've finished my hunt, and maybe we can discuss this." So that was kind of an odd interaction, but okay. And then what was that? I gained 1 notoriety, so I'm at 6 notoriety now. On the plus side, I'm doing some good fucking rolls, but like, still, man. All right, so we're still wandering around. This is a huge fucking city on the water. So we're wandering around. We walked in just one location. We just kept walking in one direction for a while. Baby, you light up my life no, like nobody else. Because 1, we want to get away from that fucking clinic that keeps making fun of us. And 2, we just need to explore more of the place. So 4, you arrive at a small town run by locals. I'm in a giant hub. So I'm going to just assume I'm going to just assume that it's like, I don't know, like a small little something or other. But I'm trying to find where are the planets? Predominant destinations. I mean, I guess we could do these, right? Let's say that we show up to Dunla, Smuggler's Rest. Sure, why not? Or those might actually only pop up whenever we find leads. So I think we'll stick to that. We'll come back to that, right? So a small town run by locals. I'm going to say this is like a tavern, right? We show up onto a tavern. We're going to roll once on the destination events table, and then speak with a local, then rest or barter for supplies to gain 1 motivation. So 3 and 2. Motherfucker. A large group of soldiers from the controlling faction are here. There's no way to avoid catching their attention. Great. So roll a die. Okay. What do we got? So we got a 5. Your Nomad's Guild license holds up to inspection. Move along. Why are they checking every person's ID who passes through there? All right, so we show up to this small little tavern. We also gain a motivation because we sit and rest for a while. So we're maxed on stats pretty much at this point. We'll rest and barter for supplies. But as we're sitting down with the bartender to try and grab food, maybe grab a room for the night because we've been wandering around for hours now. The Nomad's Guild license holds up, so move along. So it says, hey, what's good? What is it? Controlling faction is the Trade Alliance? Yeah, right? Yeah, Mystic Order. So I'm gonna sit there and say, hey, what's going on with all of them? They seem a little on edge. And the guy and the bartender behind us, oh, well, laddie, you wouldn't believe it. They're looking for someone who apparently killed one of their big-time Mystic Order leaders. Quite odd. I don't know why it'd ever show up in Veltari, but I do not know, and I don't want to know. I want to stay out of their business. I want to stay out of everyone's business. I said, oh man, that's really odd. I hope I don't encounter someone like that. By the way, is there a room that I can stay for the night? He says, oh yes, of course. Here you go. And then we pay whatever we pay because like currency doesn't really exist in this game. And we have a nice rest, and we have a nice munch. We do a little bit of munching, and we do a little bit of resting, and everything's good. Now, next day, Cheeto wakes up, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. There's no one whispering sticky buggins in his ear. For the love of fucking God, can we get a lead? 5. If your notoriety is 3 or higher. My notoriety is maxed. We get a lead! Finally! I can see what a lead is. You need to find a few leads known associated with the target. Lead may provide clues. To create a lead, first roll for the showdown. Okay. For the first and second leads, roll on the roll. Okay. So, do we put leads on here? We put assets. Do we put leads? I don't think we put leads. That's fine. Alright, so the showdown table. Before you create a lead or target, roll once on each of these. Alright. So we got a 1 and a 6. So you find them in the ruins of a gigantic crashed starship searching for something. And then setting, a starfighter battle breaks out in the sky above, bombarding the area with debris and straight laser fire. In the middle of a fucking watery ship? Or watery city? Okay. So as we're wandering through this, we notice that a good portion of this main hub, this main city, or what we can do is we can actually go towards one of the cities on the planet. Yeah, we'll go to one of the cities on the planet finally. So I'm gonna say Giloth, the floating city. So Giloth, the floating city. I think there's a different way to do this with your destinations. You roll on the destination table to find out where you've been. Yeah, so we probably should have been rolling for each one of these, but whatever. Yes, that could be it. So, we do... Jesus. So, where we caught the next day, the barkeep tells us that, hey, there's a barge going up to Giloth, the floating city, if you'd like to go and kind of explore a little bit. So Cheeto, of course, says, yeah, of course, I'll head on out there, and he follows the advice to to this barge. And the barge flies up, and obviously, being called the floating city, I assume that the city is, floating above the ocean. So as we fly on up, we see that it's still it's like a cylindrical platform. There are like all these like wires and big spires and things coming out from underneath. And on top, of course, there is a city. Not anything super decadent, but at least a little bit better looking than the main hub that we started in. So as we get on up there, we get off and we wander around for a little bit, and we find this gigantic fucking crashed starship. I'm assuming it was something with the old empire and the new uprising. They were fighting, and it crashed some time ago, and you can see that scavengers pick, the most part of it. Most of it, but just off to one of the giant struts that we're seeing. We're going to roll species and personality table. Okay. So just off to the one of the struts, we do 6 and 1, so 7. So it's a human, and it's rude. It's a rude human. It's a rude human named Eli Joch. And this bitch knows of sticky buggins. And a normal human, pretty much, yeah. So as we see it pop on by, we go, oh my. We come on by and say, low, Shaw. And he swings around. He goes, oh my god. He goes, no, not at all. What? Get out of my face. Get out of my face, you horn devil. And as he's going, we got number 2. They're a dangerous accomplice of your target. Roll for their faction. The challenging faction. They're part of the Tradle. They're part of the Mystic Order. Okay. How have they gained a reputation as a particularly brutal fighter? Speak with them. They attack you in melee. So I'm going to try and threaten him because I have a shit ton of notoriety. So I kind of lean up on a small pole right there as he's kind of shuffling around trying to get out. So what are you still doing looking at me? Fucking horn dog? I don't know. He says, I already know why you're here. You're trying to clean up after Sticky Buggins. And he looks at me with a glare. Says, you know nothing of Sticky Buggins. And he pops on up. And how do we intimidate? I forgot. How do we threaten people? I can't threaten my lead. Fuck. Okay. Damn it. I can't threaten my lead, son of a bitch. Okay. I'm gonna be sitting there, and as soon as he grabs out and comes at me, my rifle's already out, right? So it's +4 for the first attack. My rifle is already going. So he gains a +3. So he rolls a 5. I roll an 8. So as he comes out, he attacks me. Oh, he attacks me in melee. So okay, so I'm assuming that I have to attack as well. So 3, then -1, +1, so it negates on the HP. So he comes up with me, and he has a fucking like a maul in his hand as he swings on over. He says, "Oh, Sticky Buggins is gonna pay me for this shit." And as he comes up and he tries to swing and tries to take out my shoulder, I barely dodge in time as I have my concealed blade, and I just slash him right along the side. And he sits there. His armor happened to save him, thank God. Well, thank God for him. All right, so then we have a 6, and he rolls a 5. Sorry, I need water. I'm gonna have to make some tea after this. He comes back around to try to take my leg out, but I'm watching him very sharply, and as he comes to take my leg out, he swings low. I kick him right on his leg before he can get at me, and then as he's falling, slice him right in the fucking throat again. Throat slicer, baby. So we have the option. We can either spare him or we can kill him. Oh wait, no, he's our lead. We can spare him or we can kill him. We already have max notoriety. We could spare him and gain 1 favor. Because I think the lead can become help afterwards, right? No, okay. Never mind. Damn it, okay. That's fine. I'd say spare him. He's a lead, so shouldn't you spare him? Probably should, yeah. So what we're gonna do... Alright, so so then instead of like slashing at his throat, we slash down on his arm, and he got... His arm just went limp, and he dropped that maul that he had. He says, "Oh, aren't you gonna fucking finish me? I'm not betraying Sticky. I'm not betraying Buggins." And I go, "Listen, get on out of here. I don't tell Sticky that I'm coming for him." Says, and he goes, man, fuck this, man. I wasn't paid enough for this shit." And he goes on out. So we have taken our first out of 3 leads. I don't think I can... Okay, so I've encountered my first lead. Dude, I have found no assets yet. That's kind of crazy, right? Alright, well... And I said, Cheeto says to himself, like, "God damn it, that wasn't even worth anything." Because I just risked my fucking limbs, and I didn't get any information at all out of it. And then as he's starting to turn away, the humans already ran off. He notices there's a small data pad that's sitting down on the ground. Oh, guess the idiot dropped it. He picks it up, and he takes a look, and in it there's just it seems like a burner data pad, and in it there's a message, and it just says, it's Sticky Buggins, and it just has a location. but it doesn't have a time or a date. So we're going to need... So we know the location of Sticky Buggins. We just don't know when he's going to be there. So that's what our next hunt is going to be on. Alright, so of course back to our exploration. 5. Okay, we encounter a lead again. Of course we do, because our notoriety is fucking maxed. Alright, so, showdown. What's our next showdown? Let's go... 2 and 5. You meet on a precarious bridge or platform, high above a canyon or river, and a large machine awakens, resuming its duty but constantly getting in the way. I have a stupid idea for this one. So, you know, Cheeto he's done wandering. He's done with that one. He finds that human. It kind of leaves a sore taste, a bad taste in his mouth. We probably shouldn't have spared him, but what's done is done. He's walking on through, and he's trying to find his way back to that fucking barge. And there's a giant bridge that's kind of there's a big long bridge. Doesn't have any guardrails on it or anything. Seems like in either one of the lesser used or lesser affluent areas of, what was it, Gilath, I think? Giloth, the floating city. So, as he's wandering by, we see... Wait, what was this? 3? Amphibious, a kimono. And he will be 2. Ooh, skittish. Ooh, yes, okay. So we find a small little lizard as he's kind of digging through some of the trash through this around this bridge. As I'm walking up, I walk right past him, and then I stop, and I notice that he stops, and he just freezes as I stop, and I turn around. And as I turn around, he turns around. Let's see, how about Tassakbo? I go, Tassakbo. He goes, what do you want? And shit, you're after Sticky, aren't you? Says, yeah, I am. I don't know anything. I swear, I don't know anything, man. Like. So, let's see. Roll on the species, then roll on tables to determine who they are. So it's a skittish, let's say like lizard type, and they're a cowardly bureaucrat, which makes sense. Somehow aiding your target. Roll on their faction. We'll say 6 on the challenging. So they're in part of the trade alliance. How their actions help to further political goals here. And he says, I mean, like, it just, look, man, he paid a lot. Like, I can't really, it's nothing personal, but I gotta, I got mouths to feed. I have a clutch as well. It's like, you're talking quite a lot. All I said was your name. Says, well, I mean, like, Sticky already said that, he already knows that you're coming for him, and then he pulls out a gun, which, of course, I also have a gun. I think I've been doing the HP wrong. I think it's if I beat their HP with my attack, then I think I kill them. I think that's how it's supposed to work. I'm honestly going to ask the creator. I think they have a Discord. I'm going to hop in there. And I'm just going to ask them, like, how does that actually work? But they attack me. They have a +1. We both roll a 5. So they got a 6. But I think I have a 4, right? For ranged? Yeah, 4. So they got a 6, I got a 9. Which it's a laser rifle, so it's probably more like a 30-06, but you know what I mean. So we both jump behind something, and as I'm gonna assume that's how it works, right? So they got a +3. I'm at a 9, so I'm gonna say he says it's nothing personal as he pops out real quick and blasts at me, and of course the shot just misses, just zooms over my head, and I just go and as I can see him pop out, my rifle is already there. Takes the shot, get him right in the fucking shoulder. Get him right in the shoulder. And then, I mean, this guy's a bureaucrat, and he's also cowardly, so I don't think he's really going to do anything. I honestly think that we should spare this guy as well. Realistically, like, what is this dude gonna do? So he's sitting there. God, you fucking shot me. You know how expensive medical care here is in this stupid fucking floating city. And like he tries to like get on up to move around, but he can't. As Cheeto's walking up to him, cool as a cucumber. Says, "Listen, tell Sticky, I know where he is." And he says, "Oh God, you already know, where he's gonna be there. He's gonna be there in 6 hours." Says, "I do now." He says, "Ah, shit, Sticky's gonna kill me." And Cheeto goes, "I wouldn't worry about that." And he grabs his gun. He grabs the lizard's gun, and he just throws it off the bridge. He says, "I'd get that looked at if I were you." And he turns around and he walks away. He goes, God damn it, fucking Sticky's gonna kill you." So, we got through our 2 leads. Our next one, regardless, I'm pretty sure the next role we get is going to be fighting against Sticky Buggins. So we have to be prepared. I mean, we're as prepared as we can be, right? But I think it's just time to go, right? Let's do it. That's a 1. There's no sign of your target. Something interrupts your hunt. God damn it. 4. 4 and 6. You find a new local uprising starfighter half buried in the ground. The pilot's a local, alive in the cockpit, but unconscious. Wake the pilot trying to speak and lose 1 favor, or loot the ship to gain 1 motivation. I'm going to say lose 1 favor. I'm not too worried about favor, man. So, I guess there was a battle going on overhead, and, I kind of wasn't really paying too much attention. And there is, as we're walking on by thinking about what the little lizard bastard said to us, we got a few hours left until we get there. So he goes, and there's a ship he can see just smoking right out of the ground. Says, God damn it. I don't want to be the hero today. And as he wanders on by, he sees that there's a pilot in the cockpit. And he sits there for a second, and he decides. And he goes, all right, fucking, let's go help him. And, all right, so we're going to try and speak to him. We're going to try and speak to him. All right, add half of your favor rounded up. So we rolled both 5s. So I lose 1 favor from speaking to him, but I'm at 3. So 5 plus 2, obviously 7, so that wins. Or no, we round up, right? 3, so 2, yeah, so still. Alright, cool. So we're just gonna speak with a local or an asset. I'm gonna say he's a local. Alright, and a 1. They hate the war and dream of its end. That's very, very on point. Okay. So Cheeto, he's able to get the cockpit open. 132,000 quibs. I don't know, man. You're gonna have to solve that one yourself. I don't run this channel. the cockpit is open, and he starts pulling this guy out, and he kind of taps him. He kind of smacks him a little bit on the face, like, "Hey, wake up, buddy! Your ship just fell out of the sky." He goes, "Oh God, oh, thank you so much for saving me. Oh man, God, that sucked. I didn't even want to be a part of this. I didn't even be wanted in this, dude. I've been." He's obviously flustered because he just survived a life-threatening event. He says, "God, I was only trained 3 weeks ago, man. I was shot out of the sky by a fucking laser battery like it was nothing." I don't even know what my rewards are anymore. You know what you know what I'm gonna do? Remind me. I'm going to make I'll make a reward where I will put you guys in one of these RPGs if you want. Not gonna be today, but so we have that. So do we get a minion from this guy? Also, Alex, you're up pretty late. You good? On the events table? Okay, so what was it? It was 2 and 6, I think? Yeah, okay, so no, unfortunately we didn't get... no, okay, because, like, this one it says, like, you discover one of your assets. So, like, you will have, like, it'll show you if you get an asset. It's just one for you? Oh, okay, well, okay. Just make sure. And he goes, "Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Is there something I can pay you? Like, can I don't know, can I give you something? Credits, anything?" I said, "No, it's all right, man. Just pay it forward if you ever see someone in need." He says, "Oh, thank you, man. You're a really good person." He goes, I don't know about that." As I and then he walks away. The assassin, sometimes, just because you're an assassin doesn't mean you can't help people, right? There's assassin erasure, and we need assassins more often. I don't know. Another redeem could be a reroll a dice. Ooh, I do like that. Okay. That one will have to be, like, only so often, right? But that's a good idea. Okay, keep that in the back burner. Yeah. Alright, so we got a fortified base, or a palace run by the controlling faction. So we're gonna go and we got to resolve both. So we have to fight a hostile guard, which is the controlling faction. It's a mystic order. So he only has a +2. As he comes up, we're going to just be the badass that we are. We're gonna say, I fought most. I've taken out your leaders. What can you do? And then as he's running up with the sniper that I got, just take him out. Arm guard, straight down. Mystic didn't do shit, buddy. And now we get to roll twice on the destination table. So we have a 1 and a 3. People from all around travel to visit a clinic of a renowned healer for the 3rd fucking time. No, I think it's funny. It says, like, if you get the same one, like, re-roll it, unless you want to do it narratively. So I'm still in the floating city. So after shooting that guy, I kind of am just wandering back through, and I actually bump into the line in this people this time. And of course, I roll a 2. And it says, "Oh my god!" And there's another lady sitting there. She says, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I've been standing in this line, find this healer for so long," and and looks at me and says, "Oh my god, you're so cybernetic. What's wrong with you? You need this healer." But this time she says, "Kids, grab this guy. We're pulling him in to bring the healer." And he's like, no, get away. Like, dude, I have, like, half of my fucking organs are gone. Like, leave me alone. And he is able to skedaddle off away from the kids this time. Healers and clinics is not this dude's forte. Alright, and then we have a second event. So 3 and 6. And then we're the nomad again. And we roll a 6, thank God. So that nomad that we saw, we bump into each other. They nod again. I said, dude, this is kind of weird. This is the second time we've done this. And the nomad doesn't say anything. He just like disappears again into the crowd. Like, God, I have to get off this fucking planet. This has been the worst. This has been the worst job I've been on. I'm ready to find some tropical planet somewhere. All right, so we're going to the Explorer. Please, for the love of God, can we find our I've only rolled 1 and 6s. Fuck you. If your notoriety is 3 or higher, okay. We found yes. All right, so we found our target. We found our target. We first have to find the showdown. So our first showdown. We found the target. So 1 and 2. The ruins of a gigantic crashed starship. The temperature is rapidly becoming dangerously high or freezing cold. Okay. So we wander on back to that gigantic starship that we first encountered Eli at. And we said, okay, so it was supposed to be here. We're just not sure. He should be here soon. And he notices that the temperature is getting really, really warm for some reason. Thinking that something in the crashed starship is maybe heating up. And heating up to a point that you don't want. Hold on. My phone, or a car outside was going off for some reason. Okay. So, you may get to hear their side of the story before you fight. If you manage to defeat them, choose to capture them and gain 2 favor, kill them to gain 1 favor, or let them go and lose 2 favor. Okay. So, where you encounter them in the wilderness when the key information. So, our targets, do we roll for the target? Maybe? Is to roll on the target, okay. 5. You confront a ghost from your past who you thought was long gone. Ah, so sticky buggins. Gain 1 motivation if you defeat them. Resolve all. Why do they revel in bringing up your origin, scar, or trigger? Speak with them, and they attack you with a familiar weapon. Okay. So, sticky buggins. Me and it were both fledgling hunters for the Trade Alliance. Or for what is it called? For the Order, I think, the Nomadic Order. And we were doing our jobs, and for a while we even had a few jobs done together. But we grew apart over time. And then as we're going up and we're at that point where we fought Eli the first time, the first lead. Sticky Buggins is sitting there. I've been waiting for you, Cheeto. He's an insect. I don't know how they actually would speak. It'd probably be like but he has like a vocalizer. He goes, so I see that little plasma grenade that went off took its toll on you. And he points to the scar on my chest. That, you know, the fact that half of my fucking organs are cybernetic. And he was the reason for that event. He goes, I'm surprised you're still kicking. I figured this water would rust your soul, or rust your heart away by now. God damn it, Sticky Buggins. I can't believe you betrayed me like that. I think he betrayed me, or someone else betrayed me. I forgot my backstory already. Ally betrayed me. Yeah, so Sticky Buggins was my ally. He goes, God, and I say, it's been a long time. I figure you would have gotten low or gotten wealthy and fucked off. You're always the same, aren't you there? You aren't gonna rest until all this is over, huh? Says God. Damn it, I'm tired of you sticky buggins. I saw your little cultists, or whoever the hell they were, humming about you. Says, yeah, I promised them a good chunk of money. I even told them that there was someone hunting for me here. But they all failed me. Unfortunately, you're still alive. I guess I just have to do the job myself. And I can already tell. I can already tell that Sticky Buggins is done talking. So boom. Familiar weapon, so it's not melee or ranged necessarily. So he pulls out a long sword. He says, I don't need a grenade to take care of you this time. And then they rush at it. So, we're gonna do a little rushy. Oh, come the fuck on. Oh, come the fuck on. I got a 1. He got a 5. So, do I have 2 against my target? I think that's what it was. Right? Where's my... 2 versus lead or target. Oh, okay. I guess I could have taken damage, or like taken less damage with that, but whatever. And then I got a +3 to attack, and then -1 to his HP, and he only has 1 HP. So I'm gonna say that this is like one of those, one of those old school samurai showdown. We both run at each other, both slash, and sit there for a second. Sticky Buggin's arm falls off. Blood starts spraying out of there. And then I start spraying, I start bleeding from the side of me. And he falls down to the ground. Ah, God! I swear this isn't the end. I'm gonna kill you, Cheeto. So, I took him down. I'm gonna incap him. What should we do? Should we kill him? We're not letting him go, because he's a menace. Also, he's a dick. Or we're gonna capture him. I think we're gonna capture him. I think we're gonna capture him and turn him in. Yeah. So, we're gonna use, I don't know, space lasso or something. Some type of like, I'll use like a net grenade. I'm not the only one with a grenade this time. And I chuck it, and the fucking net pops up and instantly goes around Sticky. A bug in it. I caught a bug with my net. He says, that's not fucking funny. I'm bleeding out here, you bastard. You'll be fine. You guys heal up pretty quick. So, we grab him, and we're dragging him back to our ship. And now we finally got our epilogue. End this chapter of your Nomad story. Determine your out and finish your game. Multiply your motivation by 2 and add it to your favor. So 12, 13, 14, 15. Alright, cool. 15. Word of your deeds is spread throughout this sector to the galaxy. Your name strikes fear in your future quarry, but it'll be much harder to carry out your work discreetly. Which famous figure gets in contact now that your reputation has grown? If you continue your story with the same nomad, start your next game with 2 notoriety, 1 favor, and 1 motivation. So as we finally get Sticky Buggins back up into our ship and roll, and we puncture stuff in, I was able to get myself patched up with some med gel. I sit on down. I notice there's a notification on the ship's interface. Pops it up. There's a holovid. There's a holo message. There's a... Let's say there is a tall... I don't know. What should we do? Let's just roll a character. 4 and 6 is 10. So 10, bird-like. A sarcastic, bird-like woman with blonde... Yes, a peacock. Yes. A peacock. There's going to be a peacock woman. Fez Talon, I think, is a little too on the nose. Aiki Euchre. Sarcastic. She says, well, if you're hearing this, then I guess you got my message. And we know her as one of the heads of the Trade Alliance. She says, oh, well, it seems that you might have finished a little contract up for our alliance. I think I have something a little bit more challenging, if you're up to the task. And Cheeto sits there, and he sits there for a long minute, thinking about, should we answer this? Should we call back? And he looks back to Sticky. Sticky's not bleeding anymore, but he's still kind of wrapped up. Fucking let me out! I'll pay you. I'll pay you the damn contract price. Just let me out. And Cheeto hits a button on his little interface, and it closes the door behind him. So we can just barely hear Sticky now in the back. Cheeto decides, let's go hand this contract in before we accept anything else. He fires up the ship and he blasts off into the night sky. And that is the story of Cheeto Robey, who... Oh, dude, perfect timing for the music. Nice. Oh, dark dystopian sleep music. Let's go. Perfect timing for the music. But yes, that was the story of Cheeto Robey, the Ghoul assassin who hunted down Sticky Buggins on the aquatic planet of Veltari. So that took about, that was about 2 hours. I think it was pretty good, honestly. This is a fun one. I do like this one. We might do it again with, like, the Star Wars stuff. I think this one was really fun. I liked it. There are a lot that are, like, there's a lot of journaling ones where it's really open-ended, right? But it's not that I don't like any of those. Like, that's pretty cool. But I prefer when we have these tables that we can run, you know? It makes the action keep going. It doesn't really break up the flow at all. I really do like this one. This one was a lot of fun. Notorious. Like I said, there is like a standalone expansion called Outsiders. It adds a whole bunch of new stuff. It adds a Beastmaster. Ooh, I want it. Okay. I'm gonna definitely get a physical copy of this for sure. This one's so good, dude. Honestly. Yeah. I like this one. I like this one a lot. I might check the other games that this person has made, because they've made a few. It looks like they've made one about, like, mechs. For 3 or 4 players. No, I'm good. Never mind. Revolt is another one for 2 to 4 rebellious citizens. No, I'm not worried about that. But yes, go check it out. It's called Notorious. AlwaysCheckers.com is the one that sells it. Jason Price is the one who made it. I guess he's a writer and designer from Southampton. So, cool. What do you guys think? Did you like it? I saw that you said you liked it, but, just making sure. I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Okay. So that was our fun little Saturday RPG stream. We'll eventually get back into Final Fantasy. We're just kind of doing stuff that we're doing, enjoying life, living, having fun. This one really is good. I think you could run this as 2 people too. You could just literally be the person. You could make a character and then you could literally just DM doing the roles and stuff. Yeah. But anyways, thanks for hanging out, watching BNC and all that good stuff. I think we're off for right now. I'll throw this up on YouTube. I like it. The music, I think the music also helped too. I liked having the ambient sound. Alright, well, we will maybe see you tomorrow. Later.